Mwasibire muta, mwasibye mutya, amahoro, agandi, byaibo, habari gani, muraho, sangonini, kopango, odeo. For those of you who are wondering what that was, these are some of the various local greetings found in East Africa's diverse languages. Welcome to SheCentre, the female podcast, where I dive into the issues and experiences that affect women everywhere. I am your host, Resti Kansime, and I am passionate about creating a safe space for women to share their stories and triumphs. I want to thank you for tuning into my podcast, and I would love for you to join our community and stay connected with us beyond this episode. You can find us on Instagram at _SheCentre_podcast and follow us on Facebook at the SheCentre podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and hit that follow and like button on our social media to be part of the conversation. Welcome back to SheCentre, the female podcast, where we dive deep into the inspiring stories of remarkable women from different ages and backgrounds. And I hope you are being inspired by all these stories that I've been bringing to you. I am happy and very blessed to have this space to speak to different women. Their stories are truly changing my life, and I hope they are changing yours too. A special thank you to my a special thank you to my weekly listeners, those people who do not miss an episode. Thank you so much for consistently believing in me and my vision to bring stories of women and for giving space to these women to share their stories. I am thrilled to kick off this week's episode with an extraordinary guest whose journey embodies resilience, determination, and the power of pursuing one's passions. Join me as we delve into the life and experiences of Hope, a trailblazer, entrepreneur, and advocate for change. Hope is so many things, and I personally know her, so I believe you guys are going to find this conversation very, very exciting. She is very open-minded and speaks her mind. That's one thing I love about her. She is an author of a book, and she's also a recent winner of the NSSF Hi-innovator award, I guess. Yeah. From overcoming challenges to achieving remarkable success, Hope has a story that will inspire you and uplift you. So grab your favorite beverage, coffee, soda, or whatever it is you're drinking, or you don't have to drink at all. Find a cozy spot, get ready to be inspired. Without further ado, let's jump into today's conversation and discover the incredible story of Hope. Hi, Hope. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Rusty. How are you?
I'm good. How is your salon called For Textured also, or it's something else?
Yes, it is. It's called for texture.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So,
to just keep it uniform.
Yeah, it's easier, like the brand.
It's a brand.
Yes. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to me. I was very happy when you said you were available today, and for being spontaneous. I have been following your content, and I was very inspired, of course, by how you're marketing your brand, because it's from a personal it's from something personal. It's not like yes, I'm selling hair products or something like this. I am selling hair products because of this and this and this. I like that, and I was like, okay, I know Hope from our days back in that day.
Yeah.
but I don't really know like her story like that, apart from like the usual obvious that we know from, when we were still young and stuff. So I figured I could reach out to you and ask you to share your story on SheCentre. The goal of my podcast is to let women tell their stories and their own narratives, and not have anyone to be like, yes, Hope is like that because of this and this and this. My goal is for every woman to be able to say, I have been like this and I have ended up like this, not like I want everyone to know that there are all kinds of women and anyone can inspire you based on their life story. So that's why I would like for you to share with us about your life. I start out by asking to share about your childhood and how you think it might have impacted the person that you are right now and how you're seeing this world that we are living in.
My childhood was very, what's the word? It was very, I think, uh, it was very memorable because I only have sisters. I have three sisters. I have an identical twin sister, an older sister, and a younger one. And we were not very far in age, 2 years, 4 years, like that. So we always were together in school at the same time. Even if it's different levels, it's still like, at the same time. We traveled together, we ate together, we went through puberty together, especially the three of us. So we've always had, siblings. When you're younger, you're catty, you're fighting, especially when you're girls. You have
Yeah.
that energy, but then when you grow up, you become close because now you're
Yes.
grown, you can share experiences, you can understand each other better, and also you're out of the adolescent stage, which is confusing your hormones
Yes.
and
Yes.
emotions. Yeah. And my parents, they're very understanding. They asked my mom, like, how did you raise 14 girls? And my dad only has girls, so you can imagine he's the only
Yeah.
man in the house of five women. Yeah, we don't know how he does. Yeah, so that has been my experience, really, just growing up mostly with my sisters, our family. And we didn't just have a nuclear family. We grew up with a lot of our cousins from both sides, so it was always a full house. I do not have a biological brother, but I grew up with so many brothers. Yeah.
Cousins, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, cousins.
Yeah.
But in Africa, it's your brother.
Yes.
Mm,
So
mm.
how do you think that this kind of life, coming from a family which is big, and you first of all having a twin sister, can you share a little bit about that? Because I'll just wait for that sound to go away. Okay. I know that my mom is a twin, but she's not an identical twin, and I really pray one day to have twins. But having a twin, like an identical twin sister, that has to come with some story behind there. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Having someone who is exactly like you.
When we were younger, people really, really used to uh, confuse us a lot. So we're always like, no, I'm not Faith, no, I'm not Hope, blah, blah, blah. But then as we grew up, we got our own identity
Personalities,
and
yes, yes, yeah.
personalities. And then we also growing up, we had a lot of friends and people tried to pit us against each other. Oh, this one is the cooler, this one is the cooler twin, or the
Stubborn one.
fun twin,
Yeah.
or the stubborn one,
Yes,
stuff
yes.
like that. And it caused a lot of tension between us. And now that we are grown again, we got our identities, we got different, and we look, people could differentiate us from our personalities. Faith was a tomboy. My twin sister is called Faith. She was a tomboy and was more like less of a tomboy. I went out a lot, she didn't go out a lot. And we had our individual style. But now the older we grow, sometimes we come back home and we have the same exact clothes. When people see us, they're like, Faith, I just saw you here. What are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm Hope. They're like, no, you're lying. Like today, this customer literally had to call me to make sure that he was speaking to Hope and not Faith. He had to call my phone, so me pick it. He's like, okay, fine, you're not Faith.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
so yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. When you're young, you really hate it because you're fighting so much for individualism. When you're a teenager, you finally get it. Then when you're adults, you're just like, even sometimes someone is like, Faith, they call me Faith, and I just answer. It's just something you get used to.
Were there those
Yeah.
parts where you guys, like, when probably when you were young or when you're older, where you do
Mm.
these parts where you kind of like pretend to be the other one? Did you ever
Yes.
do this?
Yeah, but when we were younger, yeah. Because it was much easier to confuse us. Okay, now as well, people are confusing us a lot. Maybe we'll do it soon. Yeah,
Because we had
yeah.
in my primary school we had two girls. I don't know if they were like identical, but we used to, like, everyone confused them together, and one of them was super stubborn. So every
That's
time,
me.
like, the yeah, I know, every time they did something, every time the stubborn one did something and the teacher like caught them, they're always like, it's not me, and the teacher would literally have the both of them together, and they're all like, it's, imagine, like, you, Hope, and Faith. He's like, I'm Faith, and the teacher is like, I'm going to beat both of you if no one tells me who Hope is. And they're like, I don't know what she's talking about. So it just, the teacher would just be like, okay, just go. So they always had this
Yeah.
thing where they confused not only the teachers but everyone. And that's always
Yeah.
so fun. I've always admired, like, to
For
have
us, they
someone.
always divided us. So we like, they would know that the one in East is Faith and the one in West is Hope. So they always divided us. We've never been in
Ah,
the same stream, actually. Or peer group, yeah.
yeah. When I
Mm.
actually met you guys, it took me a long time. I think around HSC, you guys were too similar. Like, I didn't see the difference that much. It's
Yeah.
after a while that I noticed it, because you did everything together. We were always hanging together,
Mm.
and you turn around and you're like, Faith, Hope, right? Faith. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was always confusing. It was always confusing.
Yeah.
But later on, after some time, I started to notice. I was like, okay, now I know who Hope is and
Yeah.
who Faith is. But still, I think if I met
Yeah.
both of you dressed in the same way, I would still not. I would still
Yeah.
not be able to
Now
identify
probably
you.
it would be hard to tell us apart because even like our relatives, it's not just random people. It's back to primary where everybody's like, "Are you Hope or Faith?" And they're arguing with you. No, I swear this is you. This can, and then they're just like, "Okay, fine." So now even sometimes when people say Faith, I just say, "Yeah, yeah."
That's Faith. Yeah. So how did
Mm,
yeah, at least now we know how the whole twin sister thing has been for you in your life, but how has
mm.
the growing up in a big family impacted you and how you see the world?
Growing up in a big family has helped me be more tolerant of people because, like, let's say, like, you're 11
Sorry.
teenagers in a house, and you're all, let's say, from uh 13 to 18. So there's going to be lots of different behaviors,
Sorry.
lots of different uh habits also, because remember, people are from different background. You just all came together at a different stage in your life. So you learn how to be more tolerant of people. You learn how to be less judgmental once you get to know why someone acts in a certain way. And then you also learn how to be more considerate of people because we grew up just as girls, and then, like, you're not really considerate of what a guy's experience could be because before we grew up with those boy cousins and what, I remember in school they tell you to sit with a boy. It was so scary, like, why are you sitting with a boy? Oh, you don't have that experience because you've been only girls. But then now you grow up with them, you're in the same
Yes.
space, you become more,
Yeah.
grounded and out of your bubble. So it helped me be
Yeah.
more tolerant, live with people more. And for the longest time, I had so many friends, so many crowds. I was always the kind of person, but the older I've gone, I've realized that the smaller the circle, the more sane you
The
are.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
mm,
And
mm,
I think I would be very excited for you to share about your journey. First of all,
mm,
your experience
mm,
in Malaysia, and how
mm.
you said you came up with the idea of coming up with your hair product. I really love that story. I don't want to ask questions, so just tell it as like a
Okay.
flowing story.
Uh, yeah, so Project Start, the journey of Project Start began when I first landed in Malaysia. I'd gone for university, and I found it really difficult to find products for my hair type. And then I had this one Indian classmate of mine, like, she had this amazing hair until her birth. Like, I'll never forget her hair. And she would be like, "Why do you always wear wigs? Like, why are you always wearing wigs?" So I told her it's because my hair is terrible. And she was like, "No, your hair is terrible because you wear wigs and you put chemicals in your hair. Like, have you actually looked at how Indians take care of their hair?" So she was like, "Look at the Indian way, their traditional way of taking care of their hair, and you learn a thing or two, and you don't need to buy all these cosmetics because we would bring stuff from Uganda. It's so expensive, the exportation. You have the relaxer that has expired a year ago, but because it's the cheapest thing available, you don't want spend 400K, you're going to put a 20K expired relaxer. And yet, of course, it's going to break." So I started, this girl,
Yes,
actually,
yes.
she changed my life. I'll forever be grateful to her. I started to do my research. I started doing short courses online, trying to mix herbs and oils and all that together. And I did it for the whole of my uni. I was there for 3.5 years. The first half was just like for exploring and, finding myself. So for the 3 years that I was there, I just made sure I did a lot of research. I did extra class and courses, trying to find a lot of stuff. So by the time I came back, I remember the first holiday that I came back. I actually the second holiday that I came back, I had my hair out, and I remember I met one of my friends from high school. I was like, "Oh, are you sure that's your hair?" I said, "Yeah," and she literally like did this. Your hair did not used to look like this. Like, what happened? So I said, explain it to her. I was like, how I really had bad hair, because they used to call us the little girls with the bonito hair. So, and that hair would be falling out everywhere, braids like. So that was also something that made me really determined to improve my hair. So this girl was like, "Your hair is looking so good. What are you using?" So I told her, "Actually, I'm using this oil that I mix for myself." I was like, "What? You need to bring it for me." So the next time I came, I mixed for her, I mixed for my mom, her friends, what? Everybody loved the results. And they trusted me because they knew how my hair looked before. I don't know if you remember
Yes,
how my
yes,
hair looked.
yes.
Oh, by then I wore wigs a lot. I don't know.
Yes.
But it was so terrible, right? So everybody, because they saw what's the word? The evidence, the proof in the pudding, let's say, they could see the evidence.
The
They're like,
results, yeah,
"Fine,
yes,
let's
yeah, the
buy your
results.
product." So
Yeah,
they,
the evidence.
the results. Wow. Since they could see the results. So I started selling, and there was word of mouth. Everybody was like, "Oh, buy this product. They're genuine. They work. They're authentic." And that's how I grew. I grew by word of mouth first, then social media, because your inner circle is supposed to, like, in order to first test, because most of my
To
products I
push your
test on the people
product,
around me.
yes. Yeah.
Yes, and if you've not tested it on you, how can you test it on other people? You first have to test it on you. They see
Exactly.
it's working. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine if my hair had all fallen off and I'm like, "Christy, you haven't tried my oil." You'd be
Yes.
like, "No,
I'll be
I
like,
don't want." Exactly.
Yes.
So as they could see these results, they're like, "Fine, let's also try." And I'm so grateful that they didn't actually even like take free samples. They were like, "It's okay, you give me for like 5K, a small sample. I try it out, then I'll tell you." So that's how I started to grow. And when I came back in 2016, I sat down and then I tried to work for 1 hour, but then I realized that that was not my journey, because I had big dreams. Like, I wanted to open up a salon, I wanted to start a product line, I wanted to open up a salon, and I wanted to, what's the other thing that I wanted to do? And I also wanted to start my factory. So I started my job, and it was just not paying me. And I had this thing on the side because, of course, now I had customers. I used to come back every holiday, remember? So I now had customers. So I had Protextrad on the side in 2016, and then my job. But Protextrad was making twice the amount of money that my job was
Yes.
paying me, yet it was a side business. So that's when
Yeah.
I realized that, you know what, it's time for me to drop this. That was in December 2017. It's time for me to drop this and actually follow a journey that makes more sense to me, because I was always passionate about cosmetics. I remember my mom used to be like, when I was younger, I would be mixing up her things and stuff like that. I would take her ointments and her oils, I mix them. Her makeup. Oh, she's hearing me. Yeah. So I would be doing that. And it just became something that was naturally my path, I guess, because I was passionate about it. Yesterday I had an interview with URATV, and they were like, "How have you kept on this journey?" Because a lot of businesses close after a certain time, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. So I was telling her that when you want to do entrepreneurship, you have to be passionate. For me, I was always
Yes.
passionate about it,
True.
as solving a problem, yes, that was personal to me, as solving a problem that was personal to people around me as well, because a lot of people, my friends, my family, they also had similar hair issues. So that
Yes.
passion is what has driven me to create the brand, and also, just push it to the best that I can.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. I think if you find yourself with something that's a solution for your problem, like even me, I feel like this podcast is like a solution to something. It started with me looking inside and being like, man, I went through all these things and I just need to, like, someone to hear me out. and
Yes.
understand my story and know my narrative, and not just to imagine what happened to this, like why is Rusty like this and stuff like this. I was like, I would just start a podcast and ask different women to share, because it's easy for people to just, celebrities, we give them so much grace because we see them, on like we see their stories on social media and stuff like this.
Yes, because their life is
You can
overly
easily say,
publicized.
exactly, you can easily say yes, but then we don't give that same grace to our people. Like, and
Yes.
many celebrities have to come, they make mistakes, they come out and explain themselves, but everyday people don't give them that opportunity. So I was like, I'm just
You
going to
don't
create
even
a
have the
platform.
platform for it. Yes.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm just going to create a platform. I'm not going to be asking celebs. I'll just ask like women, any woman I can reach out to, because one woman's story is another woman's experience somewhere. So
Yes.
someone is
Yes.
definitely going through what you're going through right now. Maybe they have terrible hair, or maybe they're going through something that you might say in this podcast. And then when they hear your story, they will feel that boldness to be like, if Hope did this, so can I. Let me also try to do what she did. So I was like, through this, you can inspire other people. Yes.
Yeah.
So I would like for you to share with us a little bit about your experience in Malaysia. How is studying abroad? Because you guys were really young. You must have been about 19, right? 19, 18 after Essex,
18.
right? 18.
18.
How was your experience going? At least you had your sister anyways, I can imagine. But how was that experience
Yeah.
going away?
It was still difficult because we were both young, and it was the first time we had traveled outside of Africa by ourselves, because before we had traveled with our parents or my big sister always. So this was the first time we were by ourselves, and it was really, really difficult. We were homesick, but thank God, like after 6 months, my mom came and saw us on Christmas. Then the next year we went home. So despite all of that, at least we always had like, we had a family friend that was older than us. He was in a nearby uni. He would come check on us, take care of us. Then we also had a guy. He was like the caretaker, or like the mentor of most of the Ugandans. He was a Ugandan guy so working there. He used to take care of us a lot also. Yeah, so we while it was lonely, there was also a Ugandan community, because like a lot of people in Malaysia were also from the schools we went to, Taiba,
Different
Green
countries,
Hill. So
yes. Yeah.
no, from the schools we went to in Kampala. So everyone is like from
Oh,
Taiba,
okay.
Vienna, Green Hill, Kaboja. It's the crowd of people you used to party with and hang out with. So while you're alone there as an individual, you're not alone as a community, because there's like a whole Ugandan community, or an East African community, or even an African one as well. So while it was difficult,
Yes.
sometimes, a lot of times, you had people who you could always, rely on. And for me, I was fortunate
Yeah.
enough to have a twin sister. So I was never really
Who you
alone. I
always
guess
had.
I've never been alone. Yeah. Because even right now we are together.
I
Yeah.
know. But that must be something, to always have someone who is with you. It must be
Yeah.
amazing to have that. That's because no matter
Yeah.
how lonely you get, you always know there's someone who understands exactly what you're going through, and they feel what you're
Yes.
going through because they are connected with you by blood. I think that's amazing. Before I
Yes.
ask about what you've been ranting about on Facebook, I wanted to ask about your no. Before I wanted to say, I did it in reverse. Before I ask about your NSSF win, which I would like for you to share with us and maybe inspire other girls and any woman out there who aspires to win something like that, I wanted to talk about what you've been ranting about on Facebook. Your single life, please share.
Okay. First of all, so my Facebook rant. Uh, I just feel like, Christy, when we were young, you're married, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So okay, then maybe you can share your experience. But when we were younger, we just used to date just anyone. Yeah, like you had no precise value system. You had no set of rules, and we were just basically settling with everyone. But then the older you grow, the more you set your boundaries, the more you know what you want. Me, it's from church actually. We're taught that I learned that you're supposed to have a list, and follow at least, let's say 6 out of 10 of that list of the qualities you want in a guy. Before that, I was dating randomly, and for that, of course I had myself, because if you date below you, or okay, maybe below is a very harsh word. If you date someone who doesn't fit your criteria and then they leave, your ego is crushed more than if you get someone who you feel like, okay, this is someone who at least fits in a lot of, the boxes, ticks a lot of boxes. You're like, at least I had, my nice person. But when you get someone and they're beneath your standards and you're just like very hurt and very sad, and men always feel insecure if they're intimidated by a woman. And for me, I literally had someone, when we broke up, he told me, Hope, I used to see you make money all the time. I don't want to say that time period because I was going to say lockdown is when he did it, but I won't say it's lockdown. So he's like, I used to see you making a lot. I used to see you making a lot of money all the time. You're making this, that, but then you never even paid my rent. And I'm looking at this guy like, my G, before you lost your job, did you ever pay my rent though? This is the kind of thing that I'm looking at. So at the end of the day,
Wow.
I feel like there's just a lot of stuff that I went through, and I just don't want other women to go through that, because a lot of times we date because we are lonely, not because God has told you that this is the right person, not because I feel like, oh my gosh, I need to be with the right person. And my rant is about women choosing better, because I never chose better, but I did know better, because everybody's telling you, oh, you have to date. Guys are like, how, why are you single yet you're pretty? So if you're pretty, you're supposed to have many boyfriends or what? It doesn't. Like the math is not mathing. Yeah. So I'm just like,
Yes.
I need to know myself before I can settle for anyone, because Rusty,
Yeah.
I just feel like I wasted so much time with all these different people, and I never got any value for myself. So right now, the reason why I say all those things on Facebook, and I'm like, for me, I need a man who's a provider. I need a man who's tall. I need a man who looks like a Viking, European, blue eyes. I'm like, oh, so you're gold digger. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so you're gold digger. I'm like, my dear, do you even have coal in your background though? Like, you're complaining about gold digger, but where is the coal? You get it? And also, what have you
Yeah.
given me to call me a gold digger? Yeah, because people like to say that, but like, I built myself
Yeah.
by myself from scratch. So I
Yeah.
I I have my own gold, in my trunk. So
Yeah.
if I want more
Yeah.
gold and it's not yours, you should mind your business. For me, that's how. So that's what I always say. And also, to be honest, the reason why I have such topics, like even on my YouTube, I don't know if you've had my YouTube.
Yes, yes.
But
No, no. I was going to follow it. I just saw you announcing it there this past week.
yeah, so it's like a lot of the reason why I put those controversial topics, they get so many views. They get
I
so many
know.
views and interactions. Yes. So sometimes it's not
Yes, yes.
necessarily, apart from those stories of like the bad dates and what,
Personal
those are
stories.
real.
Yes.
Yeah, those are real, although a lot of it is a little bit exaggerated, but it's real. But a lot of those Facebook things of, if you're a serious person living under men, blah, 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 I just be saying that stuff. But when I ask women to date for money, I'm seriously saying it, because I feel like it's women's time runs so fast compared to men's time. While a man is wasting your time, his time is not decreasing, yours is. So if that relationship ends and you can go away with a big factory in Namamve, you can go away with 5 chains of salons across Makawa division. Bugolobi, this, what, you can go away with a Range Rover 2020. You're not angry at that man, because while he wasted your time, he invested in it. You understand? Yes. So for me, I feel like
Although emotionally you're crushed anyways.
yes, it's quick math. It's just like how they say you'd rather cry on a plane in Dubai instead of a taxi to Nansana with dust splashing in your face. You get it? Yeah. That's for me what I
But
truly
I saw you the
believe.
other day. I saw you the other day calling yourself out because you were posting about Valentine's Day, and then next thing we know, you're receiving flowers. Please choose a side. Which side are you on? Are you single or are you not single?
I mean, the auditioning phase, they are auditioning because there's no ring. Me, at my big age, at our big age, here, because we are women of a particular age now, we don't say which one, but we just can't be tying yourself down. You can't just be like, okay, this is my boyfriend. He hasn't committed. He hasn't said he has a future with you. So you have to keep your options open. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's that's
Mm.
quite interesting. So whoever
Eh,
gave those flowers better get serious, because at least he brought flowers.
yeah, the one was it here about like 3, 4 people.
Okay, I
Wait,
hope one
no,
of
the
them
flowers
wins
was one
soon.
person. Yeah, the flowers was one person. The clothes was another person. Yeah, so it was different people.
You find yourself in a situation where when you finally settle down with one person, since you put out your
Mm,
list out there of what you should
mm,
get,
mm.
whenever you're getting married, people are going to be looking out for those things that you were telling them to
I
take out.
know,
And then if
but
the person you've chosen doesn't have those qualities,
match up.
we
Yeah,
your followers are going to be like, you are a hypocrite, Hope. You
you're
lied
such
to
a
us.
hypocrite. I mean, people always telling me I'm a hypocrite. One moment I'm telling them to leave men alone, then I have chocolates being delivered, wine. This so they're like, but Hope, are you really leaving men alone, or you want us to leave them alone? Well, for you, I'm
You
just
want to
like,
take
no,
the
you
men
guys.
from us.
When I say these things, I'm telling you to leave lousy men alone. But of course, you can't say something like that on social media. So you just have to be like, okay, be more focused, but you're not necessarily trashing all men. I don't know. And that's also the reason why I'm single. I don't want to be looked at as a hypocrite. So I'm waiting for that Viking person to come.
Okay, okay. Let's hope. Let's pray and hope that he comes soon. Can you tell us about your book, the
Mm-hmm.
Cheche Puff Princess? What was the inspiration behind that?
Chacha the Perfect Princess, it was a book that I first thought about before I even ever had Protextured as a brand of the head. So I said writing it maybe in high school. And it was just about my dad calls me Cheche as my nickname. Yeah, that's what my dad calls me. So that's kind of the name of the princess as well, because that's how my dad called me, as his little princess. So that book is basically about me, like how I didn't like my hair, how I wasn't very proud of it, how I didn't understand it and I struggled with it. And in the end, I ended up loving it. So it's on Amazon. It's Cheche the Perfect Princess. It's only $5, and I just encourage everybody to read it, especially if you're a black person. You can relate to this, especially if you're a girl or a woman.
That's nice.
Mm.
That's really inspiring. There's so many young girls out there as well that struggle with their identity because of their hair, how their hair looks, especially if you're in a community where there's people who have nice hair, like abroad or something like that. I do understand. I think that would be very inspiring to read. I also wanted to ask about your NSSF win. Can you tell us about that and how do you feel about it and how was the competition for you?
Okay, so NSSF Hi-innovator, one of the hub partners from Women in Technology Uganda, also saw my presence on social media, and they contacted me and they were like, you should join this Hi-innovator. It's very helpful for your kind of business to help it grow. So I was like, what is this about? Then when I saw you have to do a course, you have to be like go through a long process, I was like, can I handle it? Then my family were like, oh, you're super smart, you can handle this, all you need to do is just focus and work on that. And then I'm like, but it's so competitive, very many people don't go through. My mom was like, girl, you can do it. So I just went for it. I did the course. I did pitch practice. I pitched to a panel of IC's investment committee, and I was one of the winners. So it was really, really amazing too. And it's quite long. It's a 4 months course and journey up until you get the conditional funding, and then you
Wow.
get your funding like 2 3 months later after you've been because I was announced a winner in October last year, and I just got the money this month, so you can imagine it takes forever.
Wow, that's really amazing that you did that, and it sounds like you have a
Mm.
really supportive mom and family. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
quite
do.
interesting because you almost gave
Yeah.
up. You almost gave up on yourself and you didn't believe in yourself. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. And what does that mean for you and your
Thank
business?
you. Oh my gosh, it's just this fund is supposed to help small businesses scale. So for me, I wasn't even a small business. I was a micro business because I just recently opened the salon. It's only a year old. It's actually making a year old in March 1st. So originally, I
Yeah.
was very, very small, just online, and this has really helped me boost because now I can have UNBS and I can be in all the stores, the big stores, Quality, Carrefour, once I have the
Yeah.
UNBS stamp. Right now, I can get machines, I can start building my mini factories, expand on my brand. So it's been really good to get that kind of funding. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's a, how would you, if, for instance, if someone is listening to this and they're looking into expanding or getting their businesses to grow, what kind of advice would you give them? What are some of the challenges that you've faced, and how have you been able to navigate them?
For me, I've been so fortunate to have my parents as my business advisors, and even my mom is one of my business partners. So I've always had guidance when it came to business. I haven't really been hustling and just doing things like this. Of course, I was unserious at some point because I've always been smart, but I've also been like you've known me for a while. I've always been a bit too playful and not very focused. So I'm grateful to have my parents be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, you told us you didn't want to go back, and do like a master's course or whatever you're going to do at this business. So I need you to be serious about it." So they were very like, "Hope you have to do this and this." And my mother is an accountant by profession and an economist. So it has also helped me structure my business and be tax compliant and understand the whole strategy and understanding finance things. So I've not experienced very many challenges, thankfully, because of that. I've had that in my corner. And I know a lot of people don't have that. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Even like with this course and everything, doing the financials, doing the economic bits, it has mostly been her. Yeah, so I'm grateful for that because if it
That's
wasn't for
good.
her, for sure, it would be hard. Yeah.
That's good. Not, yeah, like you said, not that many people are very fortunate to go through that experience and have so many people on their side and pushing them. But
Mm,
I just want to ask, like, in terms of what does how does it feel to know
mm,
that you're living your purpose? Because living the purpose is kind of like different for so many people, but for
mm,
you, not that many people look at business as a purposeful thing.
mm,
How do you feel? Because I see you're happy, like when you're doing it, you seem happy, you seem
mm.
excited about the work that you're doing. And also,
Yeah.
maybe if you can share, where do you like make your products from? Is it something that, like, did you study anything to do with chemistry or whatever
Yes,
it is?
yes, I did. So, like I told you, all my products, I created them, formulated them from scratch. I did do a lot of research. I did short online courses. I did training, actual training, and got the qualifications to do this stuff. So none of my, of course, like if you follow me, you see I've had people duplicate my products and stuff like that, and I could not do anything about it because I didn't have a trademark. Now I do have a trademark, but it has been such a challenge because people are like, "Oh, so this is the brand, okay." So since it's not a very big name, but it's growing, it's easy to duplicate them as opposed to duplicating, let's say, Cantu or Shea Moisture. For a fact that you're going to go straight to the ground.
Yeah.
So it's been very challenging in that aspect. But also, what I've learned to do is what I've learned is um, nobody can really copy you to the T. It will never be as authentic as I have so much soul and
Yes.
heart and passion in what I do. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like I literally
I do.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like while I'm solving my own problem, I'm also helping so many other women solve their
So many
problem.
people. Yeah.
Yes. So, and women who look like me with the same skin color, with the same skin, with the same hair type. So for me, that gives me so
Yeah.
much satisfaction, and that makes me know that I'm living my purpose. Because when I was doing anything else, I'll wake up, I don't want to go to work, I'm a bit stressed, like lots of
Yeah.
things. But now I don't feel any of that. Mm.
Yeah, that's really good. I think
Mm.
that's amazing to know that every day you wake up and there's something that you created that is out
Mm.
there waiting for you to. So, are there any last words that you'd like to share with my listeners with regards to your
Mm.
journey in life and how, like, just speak to any woman out there listening to you?
I would encourage you to just keep pushing and be aggressive and never give up because uh
Mm.
life is really, life is short. If you feel like this is what you want to do, you have to get up and go for it, because at the end of the day, it's all
Mm.
about what brings you fulfillment, what helps you serve more than
Mm.
yourself. Because for me, I used to be a very selfish person, but
Mm.
serving other people has also helped me be more grounded and, know that
Mm.
I am here because of other people. So I have to give them the best as well. So that has given me purpose, it has given me
Mm.
fulfillment, it has given me peace, it has also given me confidence because people believe in me, and it has helped me grow also as a person,
Mm.
because people are depending on me for their hair to look good, people are depending on me for their
Mm.
skin to look good. So it's a
Mm.
bit of
Mm.
responsibility that you have to take seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hope. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me on this enlightening journey with Hope. And Hope, I am incredibly grateful for your openness, wisdom, and the inspiration you've shared with us today. To my listeners, I hope that Hope's story has resonated with you and left you feeling empowered. Remember, you can always connect with me on social media to share your thoughts, feedback, or suggestions for future episodes. Stay connected for more impactful conversations. And until next time, keep striving, keep believing, and keep making a difference. Remember, your voice matters, your story matters, and you are not alone on this journey. Thank you again, Hope, and to all my listeners, take care and see you in the next episode. Please help me spread the word by sharing our episodes with your friends, family, and followers. Let's amplify the voices of women, break barriers, challenge stereotypes, and create a network of support and empowerment. Together, we can bring about positive change and make this world a better place for all. This is SheCentre, the female podcast, where women's stories matter. I love you all. God bless.